Gia is a co-author with Sharon Lechter. She's a regular speaker and trainer at CEO Space. She gets results for people. She runs people's social media campaigns and other types of marketing for them. I asked her to come here today and share with some very specific keys and points of wisdom that you can implement very quickly into your social media marketing, specifically Facebook. These are going to be things that are very actionable. They're going to be very specific. They're things that you're going to be able to take notes on. I think you'll find yourself fairly entertained. And we're just setting up her slides right now so she can get it all going. Interesting thing about Gia is sometimes she doesn't always take my advice right off the bat. Sometimes I have to prove to her and almost use reverse psychology on her. And she came to me, she said, David, you're really good with books and you're really good with book covers. And you know, this is my book and this is my cover. And I tell them, I say, look, Gia, you really should put your picture on it. You are selling yourself more than you're selling anything else, okay? You should have your picture on your cover. And she said, no, it's not me, and no, I don't authors, no, it's too out there. No, it's on the back. I don't know any real book that have pictures of people on it. I'm sending her over Gary Vaynerchuk's book. I'm sending her over, I'm just a book after book after book. I said, look, don't take my word for it. It's not really up to me. It's not really up to you, Gia. Go on Facebook, put up a split test, show a book cover, one with your picture, one without your picture. And I never do this, but I gave her the stats beforehand. I said 70% of the people will pick the cover that has your picture on it. 70% will pick the cover that has a picture on it. 30% won't. Maybe she'll tell you what those results were. Next up, Gia Howard. Big round of applause.
The number was 85%. 85% picked the one with the photo. I don't want to be pompous, but I'm 5'1" and 3/4, and I want to make sure you see me. I don't feel like it's on.
There's no place like home. Well, there isn't a place you can get to by boat or by train. It's a place far, far away. Behind the moon, beyond the rain. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. It really was no miracle. What happened was just this.
I don't know why I asked him, because I had this terrible feeling that he would tell me the opposite of what I wanted to hear. God. And then when he said 75, I was like, I feel like this is just a terrible, whatever is going to make the people happy, right? We let them decide. My name is Gia Heller for business because I got married, but the Google don't care about that. So Gia Heller for business. I wrote a book called The Startup Entrepreneur. It's coming out in September. Everybody wanted me to write a Facebook book. Facebook's so boring. It's more like science and algorithms. To me, that wasn't really the kind of book that people needed. What the kind of book I thought people needed was ask me how I lost everything in the real estate crash in 2008 and was on food stamps living in my client's basement with my daughters, and ask me how I pulled myself out and have made millions using Facebook. It wasn't necessarily just Facebook that did that, right? It was the mindset, it was the habits, it was the switches, it was all the different things that I had to do, and that's what this book is about. And David, I'm listening. We're doing a split book cover where I'm actually going to give my followers what they want, my photo, and I'm going to, on Amazon, do it with a more plain cover. But enough of that. The only emails that I read, and I get 1,200 a day. Raise your hand if the only emails you read are David Fagan's. Right? Like, I hate emails. I hate sending them. I hate reading them. And when I get his, I get excited. And I feel like a fish in the ocean. It's like in my throat, catching me with that subject line immediately. And I love that about him because he's like this super sweet, nice, Holly Hobby type of guy. And you're just like, God, you're such a good person. You make me feel terrible. But then he comes out with these outrageous subject lines. And you're just like, I love you so much more than I even thought. So I just want to say thank you, David, because you make me seem less shocking sometimes. And that's a big, huge, fun thing for me to have someone out there that is always pushing that envelope. And I really feel that we do have to push that envelope, even if sometimes we tear it a little bit, because life is really boring when you do everything the same way. And that's what I love about David. He really knows how to put the pizzazz in everything. So just to give you a little bit of background about me, because Les Brown told me if I've got a room full of people, I should tell you my story first. I've been doing social media a long time, but I was the marketing and research director at CB Richard Ellis for 6 years. I won the President's Award. So when it comes to marketing and sales, I am very corporate, my background, right? I started that way, and I've done the rollouts for all those retailers and hundreds more. We were the #1 team in the world. I decided I was just sick of making my very white, tall, handsome, conservative Republican bosses super rich. And I decided I didn't want to be capped at $100,000 a year for the rest of my life and smile and be happy because I was a single mother. No. So what I did was some crazy stuff. But I just want you to know, I've been using social media since its inception, since the second it came out. And I was completely addicted. I was up till 3 in the morning. Send pic. All right? I used it first, I'm not going to lie, for my personal life, because it was like, I'm like this loudmouth New Yorker at the time in Arizona, and the only people I'm meeting are the people I work with. I wasn't going to meet Honeywell engineers. I never should have. But listen, what I'm saying is I realized very quickly in 1995 that this was changing the whole world. I could connect with people that I would never ever meet before, and that to me was fascinating. My first AOL bill was $600 for the month. Raise your hand if you ever had a crazy AOL bill. That guy right there. We were probably in the Phoenix chat room together. You look like my ex. So after America Online in 1995 to 2002, I quit my corporate job. I moved to Mexico with my 2 daughters who are fluent in Spanish now, and I made a killing, and I'll show you a little bit more. But so MySpace was where I graduated, AOL to MySpace, and then from MySpace, once it started turning into like bands and massage therapists, if you know what I mean, I was like, gotta get out of here quick. And I started to realize in 2009 that Facebook was where all the a little bit older people were going, people more my age. And Facebook was really, in 2009 when I started talking about Facebook, it was really even the end of 2008. I had a room of about 60 women in Phoenix, and one of them was from the top advertising agency in Arizona. And she stood up right after my little speech with my little suit, and she said, "Facebook? This is your platform? This is what you're here to teach us?" She's like, so unprofessional. And she walks out. 2 million later. Eat this, lady. So I've been using social media to get what I want since 1995. We talk about manifestation and the secret. Well, you need a wand. Facebook is my wand of choice, and it really has paid. I do have a little bit of social proof because you got to prove yourself, right? So there she is, born out of that AOL chat room, Jessica Pearson. She's 19 years old, and I believe she was probably one of the first internet babies. I'm older than I look, hopefully. I'm 44 this year. But look at that angel face. Never would have had her, never would have met her father. It stopped wars from happening. If you're still not using it effectively for your business, that's okay. It's all over tonight. So I sold $300 million in properties using MySpace. Raise your hand if you would give me your whole life savings to invest in a Mexican property. Raise your hand. There's at least one of you in the room, right? 1, 2. Yeah, that's what I expect. That's what I was facing. I had 600 customers coming to me a month in Mexico, and they were like, yeah, we like you. We like drinking around you, but I don't know if we want to give you all our money. So what I did was I just signed them all up for MySpace. And I would connect with them, and they would see my life, and I would put pictures up of our grand life on the weekends. Nobody wanted to go back to their corporate job, right? And I built relationships, and I was the #1 producer for the town for 3 years running, and #7 for the entire country of Mexico for Century 21 in 2007. The only difference that I could tell is that I had a solid email marketing campaign coupled with MySpace. I was the only one doing that. Next. I lost everything, including that condo with the view. That was taken from my balcony. I went from making $30,000, $40,000 a month to my $500,000 condo being worth $100,000 overnight. And I was in the fetal position for about 90 days when I came back dead broke. And since then, I have sold millions of dollars on Facebook, if you count my clients who are probably into the billions. And I have a free gift for you. And my millennial husband, yeah, that's right. Millennial husband, he's a neoclassical composer. He's actually going to start giving out, while I finish the rest of my speech, this free gift. And this is going to be my top 10 list of the top 10 things you need to be doing on Facebook. We're going to touch them tonight, and I'm going to show you practical applications. But it's a really good thing to keep on your desk, pin it up, and that's going to be one of the free gifts I give you tonight. I'm also going to give you another one a little bit later on. And that's really just, you can thank David for your free gifts, because David has done a lot for me, and that's my way of saying thank you to David. So 95% of businesses are going to be out of business in the next 3 to 5 years if they don't have a digital marketing plan. David's been telling you this forever, right? Well, things just got real, yo. These millennials just took over as the largest living segment of the population. They just took over. Does everybody know that? The baby boomers are no longer the largest. The millennials are. So what I like to say is, number one, get your digital marketing game on now, or these schmucks 5 years from now, that's right, they're going to come and just wipe the business out from under you. Just pull that rug, because they were born with that phone in their hand. They are like this. This is just so natural. And social is running and killing SEO. Content is king. Social is everything. So if you're an older person like me, Gen X or baby boomer, consider bringing millennial blood into your organization. Don't fight it. You need to mentor it so that you can own that. So I want to make sure everybody has a cohesive digital marketing plan. And the truth is, yeah, you can pay people like me and David a lot of money. But the truth is, if you're willing to work, you don't have to pay us. You can just listen to us and do what we tell you, and you can do this on your own. You either have time or money, one of the two. So how does 95% of the people find what they're looking for online? Well, they go to the search engines, duh, right? And by the way, they do go to other search engines too, not just Google. So we want to kind of try to optimize for different search engines, especially including Bing, which gets all the iPhone searches, right? So when we optimize for Bing, which nobody else is doing, it's very easy to get to the top quickly. They're going to check out your website. They're going to check out your Facebook page. If they come from your Facebook page and go to your website, and the website doesn't look like the Facebook page, they're going to bounce, right? Bounce rate bad. So it's very important that your branding be cohesive from your Facebook to your website. That's number one. Why Facebook? Well, if you don't trust me yet, trust Gary Vaynerchuk at $10,000 a tweet. Facebook has almost 80% of the social referrals still coming from them. We've got over 1.65 billion users per month. We are, without a doubt, the largest marketplace in the world. So I'm going to start going really fast, and this is going to be really content-filled, so I don't want you to panic, because you're all going to get personal consults. Now, our waiting list starts in September. That's right. If your marketing company doesn't have a waiting list, be concerned. Be very concerned. However, I have set aside 20 appointments from now and my European sabbatical for the month for David's guests. So the first 20 people that I talk with tonight after this are going to have a consult before I go to Europe for a long time. Okay, so I just wanted you to know that that's the second gift coming. And I'm very excited to work with each of you, because I know that you've already been beat up by David, which is awesome. Like, you're ripe for me. I'm like David 2.0 female. So let's talk about our personal profile. A lot of people tell me, I want to separate my personal from my business. You know what? That's so awesome. You should totally have a boss. So if you don't want to represent and be the face and body and voice of your business, why would someone else? Like, if it's not cool enough and exciting enough for you to be like, I'm the Pat McMahon of, it's like you want to be that Pat McMahon. Maybe not Pat McMahon, maybe more Jay Leno, I don't know. But this is your digital billboard, right? You want to make sure that this looks good, that you look good, and that they know who you are and what you do. Your personal profile can do things that your other pages can't. If you've ever built a business page without a personal profile, you've already learned how that ruins your life and how you can't log in, and all of that was changed and blah, blah, blah. Very important to make sure that if you're the type of person that's saying, I need to keep personal from business, this isn't the marketplace for you. This is not the appropriate marketing tool. Try direct mail or the Yellow Pages. But this is for people that actually want to be the voice and face of their business, including the CEOs of large corporations. I've seen them come to the page and say, we're sorry you didn't get that bread. And we're going to make sure that when our oven's broke, that we go to Paradise Bakery across the street. And by the way, we're sending 68 loaves of bread to your house tomorrow. CEOs, you have to care. In fact, you have to care more about your social presence between Yelp and Facebook than anything else, period. Because those two things will shut you down. They will make you or break you. The days of you not giving a crap about customer complaints is over. When you see a customer complaint, you don't delete it. You answer it with integrity and honesty in the best way you can, and hopefully make them look really bad and really stupid in the process. Because the cleaner and more PC you are, the more of an outraged they look like. So, public figures, speakers, authors, raise your hand if you're somebody that wants to speak on stages, has a book, you're somebody that wants to represent your industry. You have got to have personal branding. That's not your personal profile. Your personal profile was what you invite people to events from. It's what you post 80% personal content on. Your public figure page is going to announce places you're going, books you're writing, things you're doing. It's for people that want to follow you, but you're capped out at 5,000 friends on your personal profile, right? So I want to drag them here. So this is my personal profile. This is my personal branding. We have about 9,000 likes there. This is crucial for people that are authors, speakers, the heads of your industry. The next thing from here is your business page. Your business page should be a net for your business. And some of them aren't. I'm going to show you examples of good and bad, right and wrong. It'll be like hot or not. Remember that when we used to vote on each other? So your business page should be a net. So basically you have 0.003 seconds. You've seen people on their cell phones going like this and scrolling. That number where you can get their attention is 0.003 seconds. Your branding has to do its job in 0.003 seconds. Does your branding really do that for you? Probably most of you not, unless you've worked with David. Then it's probably crystal clear, like an ice cube. So the Social Media Masters, I chose that name because it says everything I do in a split second, right? And as you'll notice, see how most of my important stuff is in the dead center? Why is that? It's because 81% of the users on my pages and my clients' pages are using a mobile phone to access. So it's very important, I'm going to show you some samples of these shrunk down, that our graphics not only look like Disney, but they're also created in a way that they're mobile optimized. Same for your websites. So next. These are what the mobile versions of your page. So you want to make sure, marketing, very clear, even from a distance in the back of the room, you should still be able to see marketing. This graphic, not so good on the large screen, but you get my point that the most important information should be in the dead center of that rectangular banner, because that's what people are going to see. And you're going to want to fuss with it. We have an entire digital marketing graphics firm, and we fuss with these until they just look right, just perfect in the mobile device. You can't pretend that mobile doesn't exist. Just because we're on our computers doing Facebook, like we're not the norm. We're doing that because we're on our computers all day, you know what I mean? Because we're business people. But the average person, 80% of people are viewing it on the mobile phone. So everything you're doing, including your advertising for Facebook, everything needs to be optimized for mobile, or you're only looking at 20% of the market share. So this is going to be a really good example of bad marketing versus good marketing. So the top one here, this is actually a really successful company, and they have over 5,000 international clients. The name of their company is called Expansions. That doesn't tell me anything in 0.003 seconds. It only leaves mystery and wonder, which is good for a love or romance, but it's not good for marketing. Now, also, he's got his eyes half closed. I don't know what the intention was behind this, but it's bad. And if you have graphics like this on your page, no one will ever believe you're a credible expert, ever. Even when I lost all my money, I was like bartering, babysitting, washing floors in exchange for good graphics. Because I know that appearance is everything. You have to look good before they even care about anything else. So what I've done is I looked through 21 of their books. I looked through their website. I looked through their blog. We do a brainstorm session. And what I said to them is, what you're selling is, it's an answer for people that need more love, more money, or more purpose in their life. And you have a solution. You have 100 solutions for that. I said, and this is something that we can put in Red Book magazine. This is something we can put in Vogue. This is something we can put in Cosmo. This is marketing that the masses can see and understand, and it makes sense for them. You know, are you seeking abundance in your life? Subscribe here. That's a better hook than a picture with the word expansions. And it's not just them. You know, I just was hired by a law firm, Meyerson Law Firm. They do one type of law. How would a page called Meyerson Law Firm really be a net for them? Only people that already know who they are going to be finding that. Your net that we created for them was Phoenix Wills and Trusts. And everything is funny, and it's, you know, trying to make a very boring subject lively and social. It is your job, if you're going to be on social media and advertising, to make sure that your advertising is social. So I'm like, hey parents, your millennial doesn't want us to ask her for a prenup. That's okay. We'll put everything in a trust before he gets married, and it'll all be protected, right? So we're speaking to their listening by pointing out things that are actually problems in their life, but trying to do it in a more social way. You have to be social here, or you're just not going to win. In fact, you'll be shut down in the newsfeed. So we've talked about how to look good and what's important and what people are looking for and how to create a net, but content after that is king. Content is really king, and they're not joking. This is one of my clients. Anybody ever heard of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody on Disney? Well, your kids have. This guy was Esteban for 7 years, and he has a company called CGTV. And if you look at our page on Facebook, CGTV Hollywood, you'll find that we have actors like Bex Taylor Klaus, RJ, kids that are up for Cannes Film Award festivals, you know, Times Square billboards, MTV Scream, the show Arrow. He finds talent. We search for talent in cities across the globe, everywhere from Malaysia to Singapore, you name it. And we have a huge budget. Unfortunately, the screen is very, very pixelated, so you're gonna have to rely on me a little bit here. The good news is you're all gonna get consults in your due time, so you don't have to panic. But let me just tell you some of the things. Number one, imagery is everything. You know, if it doesn't have a photo, you better not even put it up. It's just not worth it at all. And having said that, video is about to completely take over. Video is 8,000 times more viral than a photo on Facebook now. It used to be that photos were more viral about 2 to 3 years ago, which is why I change my presentation constantly, because you have to keep up with Facebook. If you're going to be using Facebook, I put up new content for my members like every day, every other day. There's something new going on. And if you really want to master Facebook, you have to master Facebook. So when we're using our photos, we want to make sure that we're labeling those photos with keywords that we want to be found for, because those are alt tag images to the search engines. We want to get likes, comments, and shares. Likes, comments, and shares are the only thing that will take your page viral without paying Facebook tons of money. Now, with this particular client, we do pay Facebook tons of money. When we're going to a city, like we're going to Amarillo next weekend, we'll do 9 days at $250 a piece. 9 days at about $250 a piece in any town, from New Zealand to Amarillo, Texas. We can get about 300 to 400 kids in a room. Our average sales point is $3,000 to $5,000 per kid. We have a close rate of about 60% out of the ones that are invited once they audition. And so basically, I would say, you know, sales anywhere from between $300,000 to $500,000 a month, in between him doing movies and TV. So what was fun for me is, since 2009, I've been working with so many small businesses that 95% of them have no budget. So I've been having to teach them how to go rogue like a soldier and how to really get this content machine moving. So to have a client that actually has, you know, a $3,000 or $5,000 a month budget plus what he pays me, it's been amazing, because I get to see what works and what doesn't. And what I have found is that even if we're only spending $27 a week on Facebook advertising, it's the same method that I embody for him that I do for my client that can't afford that amount. So very important to know that. Also, don't buy fans. Buying fans is a ridiculous joke. Wait till I show you behind the curtain. You thought you got Wizard of Oz earlier. I'm going to peel that curtain back tonight and show you some things that I really hope you can see, because the screen's kind of blurry. So don't buy fans. So when we do a boost, let's say we put $250 into the event, you're going to see we get like about 300 likes, about 8 loves. And what happens is all of those become invitable. This is a new feature in the past 35 days probably on Facebook. It was the most exciting thing that happened in my life since I got married 2 years ago. I started crying at my desk. I can't believe we did this. Thank you, Mark. Oh my God, I was so happy for every time I cursed and effed and hated Facebook. This is the best tool because what it's doing is it's allowing you to advertise to these people, and finally now we can actually say, oh, you liked my post? Well, maybe you'll like my page. And they actually, I'd say it's about an 80% that they're going to click like if I invite them after they've seen my post. So this is the best way to go fishing for new prospects and new bodies because they've already told you they're interested in the post, and now you're just going to invite them to like the page. So this is an example on Sharon Lecter's page, the difference between spending money and organic, because you can read many, many articles that tell you social media for free is dead. It is over. You have to pay. And you absolutely do, but there's one go around. It's comments, likes, and shares. I've developed a system, by the way, an online entrepreneurial network where we deliver comments, likes, and shares for each other. And we all have huge networks, and we're all pushing each other's products every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I've actually come up with a solution for that as well. But what you can see here is, you can't see, so I'm going to tell you, for $2, we reached 668 people. We reached 9,000 people organically. The Facebook cost over there to reach those 9,000 people that we reached organically was $50 for that day. So that day we would have had to spend $50 just that day to get those results. We get those results every day. So the value of her doing the work, the little things that have to be done to get the comments, the likes, and the shares, is worth a minimum of $50 a day on this particular account. I can't read that. Can you say it out loud? Thank you. So what I'm telling you is that if you know what you're doing, if you're really good at content, and you have an online system of people that are supporting you every single day, you can get the value of $50, $100 a day in Facebook ads just by doing things right organically. Now combine the both, and that's how we're making a killing at CGTV, because we have both the budget and we're doing the organic. And to me, that's a perfect storm. Thirdly, we're also doing blogging for them. Okay, and inside the magazine you've been given with the top 10 tips, the first 25 that were given out have a full page testimonial. I have over 3,000 endorsements and testimonials. I've worked with over 5,000 business owners. I picked my favorite testimonial, and it's in that book. Please don't read it now, but it will make you cry, and I don't want you to do that in front of everyone. Okay, so how do we determine how much money? Again, whether we're spending $2,700 a month or $27 a week, it's the same thing. That's my little hand drawing over there. So let's just use the amount of $27 for the week, because this is the most simple thing I can tell you. Do 7 posts. Put $1 into all 7 of those posts. At the end of those 7 days, one of those posts is going to have significantly more views than the others. Throw $20 on that one. Always put more money on the winning horse. Always. But don't throw your money on the other horses, because you might think they're great. I've put 4 links out in my last mailer. 80% of the people clicked on only 1 link. So how did I determine my call to action for my website? The one that 80% of the people clicked on. I don't make decisions. It's like what David said. I'm not just going to make decisions that feed my ego. I'm going to test the market, test, measure. Okay, so... and that's how you measure it. And it'll show you each post view, how many you've gotten for the week. So none of it matters if you're not reaching your demographic. So I opened in Canada 3 months ago. And I was doing the other day a review for someone in Canada. And I said, well, your team's doing terribly, I said. And you're not hurting any of your competition. You're not even coming up in your area. He said, well, they just got me 600 likes the other day. I said, you only have 900 likes. They got you 600 in one day? He said, yeah, they're great. And so I went in the back end and I looked, and they were all in Dhaka. And I was like, okay, well, Mr. Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, all your people are in the Middle East. So you really need to make sure that this is an example of CGTV. What it's showing you, very blurrily, is that the majority, the bulk of those, are kids between the ages of 18 and 25. That's our exact target audience. And then the city list, those are the cities we've visited in the past 3 months. So my results are exactly commensurate in my target audience. And you have to do these things. You can't just go shooting money in the dark and then say, oh, Facebook doesn't work. It doesn't work because you don't know what you're doing. It's a science. It's an algorithm. You have to know what you're doing. And it's actually not that hard. It's just a million little tiny moving pieces, and some people take a little longer to learn than others. So why worry about your competitors when you can crush them? I need to tell you, and you don't have to trust me on this, all you have to do is Google it. Engagement is more important than the number of likes on your page. Engagement is everything. The number of likes on your page simply shows how many you have purchased, okay? Because if you have a huge engagement number, a huge number of likes and low engagement, those are purchase people. Those are not real. So I wish you could see these numbers, but just trust me, they're there. See, that first competitor there, these are my 2 clients in 1 and 2 position. Number 2, that's John Scherer, the video professor. Try my product for $3.99 and I'll teach you Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint. He sold over $1 billion in product. He now has a new product called Canless Air. His number 1 competitor is Dustoff, a Fortune 500 brand. Dustoff has 40,000 likes on their page. Their engagement number is 2. My client has 4,500 likes and his engagement number is 57. How does he have so much more engagement than Dustoff with 40,000 fans? Because his page is real, and those are real people. By the way, we target B2B on that page because he doesn't care about users buying his product at $149 a pop. He wants to go after casinos and barbershops. And we have Radio Shack liking our posts, Harrah's Casinos. Why? Because I know how to target B2B on Facebook as well. Very important. The next client here, CGTV. These numbers are ludicrous. Their number 1 competitor is the Celebrity Experience. They have 43,000 likes. We have 9,000 likes. Our engagement number is 5,200. Theirs is 0. And this is how you call BS. And this is how you figure out where you rank with your competitors. I'm not that worried about my competitors because I know I really set myself apart from them, and that's how you should feel. But I do like to know that I'm crushing them, especially in this line of work where they're all, I need to help you with your social. And then I put them up next to mine, and they're zeros. Now, I want to show you this one. Number 3 there, taxes. Sheets Taxes in Colorado. She's got 400 likes. Her engagement is 250. TurboTax. 603,000 likes. 16 engagement. Seriously? I mean, are these people? I'm telling you, I seem to know more than the Fortune 500 social media people, which is ridiculous because I know they're making good money. And there's me and Mari Smith. I love Mari Smith. I've spoken on stage with her 3 times. I adore her. It seems illogical to me that her total likes are 174,000. I only have 15,000. And my engagement is still 1/3 of hers. Why do I have 1/3 of her engagement and not even 10% of her fan base? Because I'm the queen of engagement. So if you want to get married, I'm your girl. So this is John Scherer. Maybe you recognize him more now, especially if you're my age or older. I love him to death. He's really awesome. But you don't have to take my word for it. I do have over 3,000 endorsements and testimonials. I love what I do. I'm very passionate about it, and I love helping people get social ready. So that's it. If you would love to have a consult with me for your business, I would say that the first 20 people are going to be booked within the next 30 days. So make sure that you come to me a little quicker than the others. If you're somebody that thinks you need some time and maybe a September would be better, I'm going to go to the back of the room and I'm going to be scheduling people and writing down your numbers, and then I'll be texting you over the next 72 hours with different appointment times. Thank you for having me.